Hello there, this is Snype Hype, and I'm here with Capoony and ArcaneSgtPepper, and we are owners and creators of Roship Universe. We usually do dubs, but right now we're doing a two-part commentary on two upcoming games, and that would be Halo Reach and Call of Duty Black Ops. And we're going to talk about the pros and cons. Part 1 is the pros and cons of Halo Reach, and Part 2 being the pros and cons of Call of Duty Black Ops. These are our opinions on the games from what we've seen, and a few facts and from the game companies, from what they've released. And I think we'll start with the pros and cons of Halo Reach. One of the pros of Halo Reach would have to be the campaign. I think Halo's campaigns are very well built. They're epic. The soundtrack ties in very nicely with the games. They're long, sometimes too long, but all in all, it's very nice. The improvements of the campaign in Halo Reach from Halo 3 would be the matchmaking capabilities, because normally when you would do campaign in Halo 3, you would have to have friends online or people you just met online and invite them to the game. Now you can go into a matchmaking lobby for campaign, which is nice. Also, your character from matchmaking can be played in campaign, as opposed to Halo 3, where you're either Master Chief or Arbiter or some random elite. Now, the campaign and the soundtrack tie in very nicely. Another thing that has improved from Halo 3 would be the improved gameplay. And what that means is that Halo 3 was a fantastic game. The gameplay was very nice. There was ups and downs to it, but Halo Reach has improved on that in the armor abilities. In Halo 3, you would have to pick up power-ups, and that was always a competition to get to the power-up first, but now those are built into your armor, and you can choose that loadout before you respawn, and that adds a lot of customization to the matchmaking games while you're in-game, as opposed to the customization, say, in Firefight before the game. Changes your strategy around, makes it a lot more enjoyable to play. And the gameplay from the beta, and I very well enjoyed the beta, and it was just a beta, and the final game would be much better. But the gameplay of the beta compared to Halo 3's beta was amazing, and Call of Duty probably won't even release a beta. They didn't do it for any of their games, so
they did.
You can't really expect
they're
it.
gonna release a beta like World at War. That World at War had a beta.
Okay, well they are going to release a beta. That's nice. And a little taste of the game before it's out, before you buy. Now, I think we should talk about Firefight now. Arcane, do you have any comments on Firefight?
I like grapes.
Mate, we're talking about Firefight.
I like Firefight.
I think that's enough from campaign. Capoony, do you have any thoughts on Firefight?
Well, Firefight's something we first saw in ODST, and it was really fun. Sometimes it was really hard. You have Endure, which is interesting to say the least. One of the new things they're adding is lots of customization of the actual gameplay of Firefight. You can have there's lots of new stuff. They have customizing what are in the waves.
Like all grunts or all hunters or all brutes.
Yeah. Also, like the campaign that they updated, you can have like a lobby now, so you don't have to just play with your friends or by yourself. You can actually go on and, like in matchmaking, just play with people you've never met before.
Nice matchmaking lobby that ties into Firefight. I think that was an excellent idea.
What else? You can change the weapons and
the loadouts that you spawn
yes.
with are very nice. A lot of custom ability to the Firefight games, which you didn't see in ODST. You were a dropship trooper, and you had the SMG and the pistol to start out with. Now you can change that, and I think it very well improves Firefight, don't you think? Now that we've talked about Firefight, I think we should talk about another big thing to Halo Reach, and that, of course, is Forge World. And Forge World is absolutely amazing from what we've seen from the VidArc and some other things like Red vs. Blue released a little bit on that, and the return of Blood Gulch. Now, for those of you who don't know that, Blood Gulch was a map in the most popular map in Halo 1, and they re-brought it back in Halo 2 as Coagulation, and now it's called Hemorrhage, and they all center around blood or bleeding or something like that. But it's much improved now. There's 5 or 6 sections that you can make in Forge World.
Yeah, it's just absolutely huge. This is it's probably like the biggest map.
It is the biggest map they've ever created.
You can add that third base everybody always wanted.
Yep, that's very nice too.
There's also lots of new features. Like they made glitches and stuff from original Halo 3 Forge into available features. like instead of just glitches. Now you can make stuff float like whenever you want, and you don't just have to like restart the game or whatever.
Start a new round.
Yeah, start a new round. You can just make it like that right away.
Oh, another good thing about Forge is the nuke button, where you select an item and you can delete all of them at once. And that is very useful for deleting respawn points. Instead of having to float around for random respawn points or killing people so you know where the spawn points are going to be, you can just delete all of them, and that adds a lot more customability to your custom games. And custom games are another pro for Halo Reach. They've always been a big thing in the Halo franchise, and I honestly think even without the matchmaking of Halo 3, the firefight and the custom games and Forge and theater and all that, you take out the multiplayer and you can still have a fantastic game along with the campaign for Halo games. Unlike CoD, where you take out the multiplayer and no one wants the game at all. You don't play CoD.
Yeah, you just don't play COD for the campaign.
No, it's shitty. It's made up in like 10 minutes, and it's a 5-hour campaign, unless it's on veteran. But then it's just over and over.
Okay, but you don't play COD for the campaign. You play it for the multiplayer most of the time.
And without that, you cannot have a very.
The campaign is just up your gamer score and forget about it.
It's pretty much. And now, another good thing about Halo Reach is Bungie is making it, and Bungie is a fantastic game creator. Whenever there's a problem, they fix it as fast as they can. They're very true and loyal to the fans that play Halo. They fixed a few things that were fixed in the beta that they released. The grenade power was cut down because they were mini nukes in the beta. The melee speed was cut down. A few tweaks to weapons. The DMR has more on a clip now, which is nice. Some weapons were calmed down. The sword was calmed down. Probably some weapon spawns were probably fixed. It's fantastic.
Sword was fixed on the release of the beta, where you could melee him away.
Yep, that's very nice. It dumbed down the sword, because in Halo 3 the sword was pretty ridiculous. But Halo games are pretty well balanced. All the things are balanced. The armor abilities are very well balanced. I think they did very nice when they created those. Armor lock is probably my favorite, and even though it's probably the least balanced out of all of them, it's still very nice, and you have to use it correctly. Camo is absolutely ridiculous. You're invisible, and you can throw grenades, and someone turns around and is like, oh my god, did that grenade just come out of the wall? I mean, it's scary like that, I guess, but the more you move, the more visible you are, so that's how it's balanced. Those are some examples of
It's like an entire new game in there, a whole stealth.
Yes. Alright, now I think we'll move on to the cons. I think we've made plenty of points for the pros of Halo Reach, besides the graphics, which are obviously better. But I personally think Halo Reach is always, or the Halo franchise in general, has always had the best environment graphics. And now they've improved on the character graphics, which is very nice. The cons of Halo Reach, this is a con as well as a pro. I guess more on the con side, but a bigger community, which means you'll have more matchmaking capabilities. However, with more people playing, you run into a lot more of the little kids and the squeakers and stuff like that. There's little annoying kids that don't know how to play the game, and also you run into a lot of douchebags online that just play the game for the multiplayer, don't even bother with the campaign or any of the other features that make it a great Halo game, and those people are not very fun to play with.
Now you can select a game up with people that don't do that.
Yes, the true skill feature, which is very nice because you can filter out annoying kids and age preferences and how rowdy people are, which is nice.
The teamwork levels.
The teamwork levels, especially, so you don't get all those lone wolves. The reticule bloom is a con. It makes you have to time your shots, and it's going to be harder to get used to. The new controls in Halo Reach aren't much of a con, really. I mean, everyone will get used to that. And there's a setting which makes it just like Halo 3.
Recon setting.
The recon
just
setting.
One button's off.
Just, yeah. The armor abilities. We're running out of time, and the last con I want to make notice is boosters, which there will be boosters on Halo Reach, as there are in most online games. If you look at AK is Famous on Bungie.net, which you can track all your scores, especially for Halo Reach, you'll find people like him that are boosters, but that's not that big of a deal. Anyways, part 1 is coming to an end. I'm Snype Hype.
Capoony147.
This is ArcaneSgtPepper.
And I hope you watch part 2, and we will be talking about CoD and that. Until then.